And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I am Michael DeLon. Today I'm talking with Trina Fisher of Left Right Labs. Trina, thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Michael. It's awesome to connect with you and to get to share today.
It's going to be a great interview because Trina and her business partner, I think the business partner is the left part and she's the right part. Or I don't know. We'll figure
Yes.
that out. But what they do is Trina's the co-founder of Left Right Labs. They're an award-winning branding web agency. They help thought leaders. That's you, listener.
Yes.
That's you, thought leader. Reinvent your brand, your business, and your life. And when I was reading about that, Trina, and it just started resonating with me because I know how important a clear message is to a business. And when you can connect a message and a brand, it radically changes the
Yes.
clarity of your message and the amount of business you do. So I'm going to talk about all of that. And as we get in there, tell me, how in the world did you get doing this?
That's a great question. It all started with a psych evaluation. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that's not what you were expecting to
It is
hear.
not. Reminds me of Klinger from MASH. Wow.
And what I mean from that is when I was originally in college, I was double majoring in art and psychology because I wanted to do something called art therapy. So for people who don't know how to express their emotions, maybe they're able to express it through art. So that's what I was going to school for. And the further and further I got into my psychology and sociology classes, I realized, wait a minute, I am way too tenderhearted for this. If I'm not able to help a client or a patient, I never separate life from work, which is not a good place to be, right? So I had to evaluate for myself, okay, is psychology really the direction I'm supposed to be going?
Yeah.
And I had this amazing art professor at the time, and he said, Trina, why don't you think about branding? It's everything you love. It's art, it's psychology, it's business, it's bringing all those things together, and you get to do that in whatever way works best for you and your business. And so that was the thing that kind of unlocked the aha for me and really sent me down the road of branding.
Wow. I love that story. Praise God for people who can look into our lives and say, hey, have you ever thought of?
Yes.
I experience that a lot, and you probably do too, working with our clients, because so many times they are so locked into what I do. This is what I do.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, that's great, but that's not your brand. That's not what the
Yeah.
audience is going to connect with. Talk to us with us a little bit about how you see branding. What is it? How do you help people understand what this thing is?
Absolutely. Branding is one of those terms that's like, oh, this could mean a million different things. I think the simplest way to think about it is branding is other people's perceptions of you. So if we think of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, he says branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. It's your reputation, right?
Love.
Well, usually when we hear the word branding, we think it's logo, it's fonts, it's colors. That's like 10% of what your brand is. Your brand is really the way that you resonate with your audience and the kind of reputation that they want to share about you and your services. So
Yeah.
that's the best way to really think about branding.
That's good. I'm going to use a different word than Bezos, if that's okay. But
Go for it.
tell
Yeah.
me, identity.
Yes, 100%.
It really is a good brand, because when somebody says Amazon, it has an identity. It's all
Yes.
that wrapped up, right? And
Yes.
that is really what we're talking about in branding. Your colors and your fonts may play into that, but it's really who you are and what people say about you. I love that aspect. So
Yes.
let's talk about left right. All right. Unpack that a little bit first.
Yes, Left Right Labs is the name of the company. So I have had my branding agency for over 18 years now,
Okay.
and it is actually founded by my best friend, Gretchen Cawthon, and I. So people always tell you, don't work with your best friend. Well, we've broken all the rules because we are complete opposites. And it has worked so well in our favor because she is 100% the left brain. She's very analytical, she's very systems driven, right? She's the one who leads our development team. I'm the right brain. I am relationships. I am connection. I am, helping with identity and the visuals, right? I lead our design team. So when you think about your brand and the audience you're talking to, the natural inclination is to speak the way you speak. but you're
Yes.
missing out on this whole other sector of people. So our job is to really come to the table and help evaluate our clients' brands from both perspectives, the left brain and the right brain, and make sure you're communicating who you are and the genuineness of what you have to offer to all types of people, not just the ones that are identical to you.
Yeah. Oh, that is so good. And gosh, we could spend a lot of time in what you just said. But
Right?
I want business owners, I want those listening to really understand the importance, the power of a clear brand
Yes.
identity, right? So
Yes.
talk with us about how when you discover when your client has that aha, go, oh, that's it, and how it makes a difference in the marketplace because now
Mhm.
they have something to hang on to, right?
Absolutely. The kind of client that we're usually working with is somebody who already has an established business. So people know what they do. That's what they do. But they're usually looking at us because they're getting ready to make a pivot in their business, or they're looking to scale to the next level, or they're on more and more stages, but they have an itch to make a shift for themselves. And that is your identity. That's knowing who you are, right? So what
Right.
I get to sit down, people think that what I do is help them design their website and create visuals.
Yeah.
But what I'm really doing is helping our clients accept who they are today and be able to communicate that today. Not who I was 10 years ago or 5 years ago, but exactly who I am today. So when I think of identity, that's really what I'm thinking about. And there's multiple ways that you have to be able to connect that to an audience. So you need to do that. First of all, we have a three-step process we take people through. We help them get clear, get noticed, and get paid. So very
Love that.
straightforward. So getting clear, that's getting to know yourself better, right? That's getting to know what is your business model today and what direction you want to go, not the things you've been offering over and over, but like what do you actually want to do?
Right.
And once you know what you love and what you're hardwired for today, then you can take a look at who are those ideal clients that need exactly what you want to serve today. So
Mm.
it's not usually about having to find a new audience. It's almost always just dialing into that top 3% of who you're already serving because they're the ones who are following you like a shadow already and they're ready to kind of take that next step. And then the next thing that we're looking into is making sure that the offers really serve them and that the channels that you're going to market through make sense. So that's getting clear on the brand. And then getting noticed, that's the visual side, which is what most people think about with branding.
Yeah.
So my whole trick with the visual side of a brand is I am here for your end client. I'm an advocate for them all day long. So, Michael, if you're redoing your brand, I want you to like your brand, but I want your clients to like it better. I
Yes.
want it to reflect both you and them and the journey that they're on, position them as the hero and position you as the guide. So that's what's really happening when we get into the messaging around a brand or when we get into the brand visuals and even down to the way that a website is created, like thinking about what information a person needs to read first, second, third, right? Putting it in the right order, making it easy for them. And then getting paid is coming back and reviewing, looking at your funnels, looking at if you're speaking from stage, that's something that you keep up with because it's immediate, right? If you're on social media, you keep up with it because it's immediate. But I want your audience to think about when they get to the end of a speech and they go to give their call to action, are you sending people to a website that is dusty, that doesn't reflect who you are today,
Yeah.
where the brand and the message and the visuals don't represent who you are from stage or from your platform? So that's really what we love to do is to kind of think of that holistic view of a brand and really make sure from top to bottom that it's reflecting exactly who you are today. And that's to me what brand identity really is.
I love that. All right, you're gonna have to hit pause, rewind that about 5 minutes, re-listen to that.
Take notes, people.
And that's the beauty of podcasting is you can rewind, right? And
Yes.
listen because it's important to understand those three processes. And I think for me, the honestly, the biggest one is the first one's get clear.
Yes.
Because I've seen too many people with a unclear identity message brand
Yes.
and they change their website, they change whatever, and it's ineffective
Yes.
because they're still sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. And
And
it just
it's
goes in one ear and out the other.
yes, and it's the piece that most people skip because
Yeah.
it's really easy to jump into, oh, I just want it to look better. We had a gentleman come to us a few years ago, and I used the word dusty, and it's because of him. He showed up and he said, ladies, my brand is dusty. He was a former Olympic athlete who was training Olympic athletes and pro NFL players. And he created supplements. And he's like, these supplements look like I make them in my garage. Like the whole site looks dusty. And it's not just about that. It's like, how do you reflect that as a whole? If you don't start with who you are first, none of the rest of it's going to have the right foundation. You got to slow down to speed up. We've all heard that. And the brand strategy is definitely the epitome of that.
Yeah, it's very good because one of my marketing philosophies that I preach all the time is people buy who you are more
Mhm.
than what you do.
Yes, absolutely.
And that was a great example you just gave of that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's every, my definition of marketing, when I wrote my first book back in 2013, I had to come up with a definition of marketing because they're like
Yes.
all over the place. And my definition is marketing is everything you do to gain and retain a customer.
Yes.
Everything, right?
Yes,
Your hat,
absolutely.
it's your communication style. It's what do they remember after that keynote speech and
Yes.
leave the stage and somebody's at home the next day? What do they remember?
Mhm.
That's going to be your identity. That's going to be your
Yes.
going to bring them back. And how does that reinforce the message and draw them closer to you and get them to tell other people?
Yes. Well, and I'd like to pull out one other quick highlight from what I was talking about with get clear, get noticed, and get paid. Those are in that order on purpose. If you have owned a business for any amount of time, you're probably doing little bits and pieces out of each of those categories. But I really like for people to think about this like a combination lock. Remember when you were in high school and you had that combination lock you had to use on your locker, and you'd show up that first day and you're like, I know it's these three numbers. Let me try them in this order. It didn't open. Let me try them in this order. It's not until you get the right three numbers in the
Yeah.
proper order that everything unlocks. And that's why you have to get clear first. Then you can get noticed and then you can get paid. And that's where that kind of next level of scale comes through. And so that's there. It's kind of inception. It's set in that order on purpose.
I love what you just said about that's where the next level of scale comes through because the bane of my existence right now, by the way, and you don't, is when people say, I can help you scale to a 7 and 8 figure business. Take my course.
Right.
And it's like, no, well, no, you're not, because most of you don't have systems and organization to do, but you don't
Yeah.
have a message,
Yeah.
and they're not clear on their message or their offer, and
Mhm.
they take the course, they spend the money, they're frustrated because
Yes.
they haven't gone to step one, get
Yes.
clear. So thank you, Trina, for making that step one.
Absolutely.
Um, how is it that you work with clients? I mean, give us a big overview. Is this a 1 month thing, a 3 month thing, a year-long thing, a lifetime thing? I mean, how does it work for a business owner? And just take an attorney, an estate
Yes.
planning
Yep.
attorney.
Yes.
As an example, what would it kind of look like?
Yeah, so we've actually worked with a few attorneys over the years. And so if you are an attorney who is coming to us and you've had your brand 8 to 10 years and you're looking to just get to the next level, you know that things have been kind of left and stagnant and really just don't have that energy or that clarity of who you are anymore. The first step is getting clear. So it's going through and dialing in that brand strategy. What are the business offers that you want to have today? Do those offers really make your ideal clients excited? Is that exactly what they want anymore, or does it need to be shifted? So going through and getting clear on that part and who you are today and being able to represent that so that you have your brand position. We do something called brand archetypes, which is like this whole next level of digging into branding. That's what enterprise level brands do, but really helping you own that brand personality and who you are today. So you have that excitement and you have that clarity around what your offers are to put in front of your ideal clients. So
Yeah.
that's that first phase, is the getting clear. And then if you're going to go through and you're going to do the design of your brand and the development, usually from start to finish with a client, it takes about 12 to 16 weeks, depending on how large the brand is. So
Wow.
that's the brand strategy, that's the visual design, that's the development of the website. That would be a pretty average project.
Okay.
Sometimes we have clients that maybe they already have a design and development team, but nobody knows how to approach it with brand strategy thinking. So we can do just the strategy for that client. It can be pretty flexible. But if you're like whole hog, let's do the whole thing, you're looking usually around 12 to 16 weeks.
Okay. So that's a lot shorter than I expected, honestly.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
I love that.
we work in sprints, and we do, like, entrepreneurs have a lot going on. There is no time to waste, right? If you're working with larger companies that are enterprise level, that's a different story. And a lot of that's dependent on what their internal schedules are. But
Right.
our sweet spot is like, let's work with those really driven, vision leaders that are digging in with their small business and taking it to the next level. And we don't have time to sit around. Let's do it together quickly.
That's right. That's just about a 90-day turnaround, 90 to 120 days. So
Yes.
it's here. Let's go. Let's boom. And the cool thing is you're
Yes.
going to see the clients are going to see results fast.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
that's what entrepreneurs, that's what we like, is
that's
results.
right.
The cool thing is, like a good brand is like a good book. It's going to last a fair amount of time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you should probably refresh it every so often, or at least take a look at it.
Yes.
But when you're there, when you land on the right one,
Hmm.
your identity is morphed into that, and so you're going to make tweaks to it. But I would say, I would think, you tell me if I'm wrong, many times, if you get it right, you're going to make tweaks, but you're not going to do a whole hog, let's change everything.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Once you have that established and you've really gone through the full process, it's something that should be with you. I would guess if you're looking at the whole brand, like if we're including brand visuals, that should last you typically at least 7 years, if not more, depending on how that changes. The thing that you'll want to consider changing more frequently is your messaging. You should be looking at that every 2 to 3 years, because the vernacular that we speak in today is not how we talked 3 years ago. Hello, we all know things 3 years ago were very different than they are today. So that's that piece that you'll want to keep up with more frequently. But visually, it should last you a good, 7 years to go and until you're ready for kind of the next big shift in your
That's
life.
awesome. For the next step. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Trina, you and I can talk for a long time. This could go on and on and on. How my listeners, how do they take that next step? Because you've definitely scratched some itches and opened up some ideas, and I love the speed at which you deliver
Yes.
resources and the breadth of what you do in your combination lock. That's going to stay with me. Get there, get noticed, get paid.
Yes.
How does somebody find you to learn more about Left Right Labs and maybe working with y'all?
Yeah, well, we make it very easy. You go to leftrightlabs.com, and in the very first section of our website, you can book a call with me. You're not going to be sent off to somebody else. You're going to get a free 30-minute session with me where I can talk with you about where are you at with your brand? What are you struggling with? Is there a way that we can support you? Are there things you can take action on yourself? Like, we're going to really think about how you can make a big leap very quickly. And that's what we're here to do, is to help people just have that opportunity to amplify and to get out there. So leftrightlabs.com, and you can book a free 30-minute session with me. And I love meeting new people, so I'm all for it.
Well, I love that. It's going to be super simple. I love the simplicity of the
Yes.
domain name. Thank you for that.
Yes.
The audience can learn a lot from that. And book a call with her. Just reach out to her. Go check out the website. Look at the portfolio of some of the work they've done is stunning.
Thank
And
you.
think about how changing your brand, morphing your brand, clarifying your brand and your message can make a big difference. Because if you're an attorney, if you're a financial advisor, and I really don't care what industry you're in,
Yeah.
if you have a clear message and brand like Trina can help you get, you're going to make a huge impact, and you're going to cut through the clutter, and you're going to outpace your competition and grow your business. It's going to be so much fun. Trina, thank you for being my guest, but thanks for
Yes.
what you do and helping so many entrepreneurs.
It is my honor. Thank you so much, Michael.
You're welcome, Trina. Thanks for listening to Experts Speak. Tune in again next week for another fantastic episode. Take care and God bless.